Hello, and welcome back to the Follow Your Spark podcast. It's your host, Gina Casbarro, and I'm so excited to come in for a solo episode today all about the power of answering the call and what happens when you do. Because I just got back from an incredible retreat in Costa Rica with the dance and theater company Amenti, and I am so grateful that each of them had the courage to follow the sparks that were calling them towards dance and creating this incredible company, this incredible modality that they are now sharing with people. And I got to experience the magic of that. So again, I am so grateful that they answered the call. So today is going to be all about what happens. What happens when each of us have the courage to answer what's calling our passion, our purpose, our curiosity, our inspiration, the ripple out impact that has in the world, why it's so valuable, and also why it can be so hard. So if you are listening to this and you feel this yearning inside of you, this burning for something more, whether you're called to make a change in your life, whether there's a passion you've been wanting to pursue, whether there's gifts you've been wanting to share, whether there's random sparks of curiosity that your heart has been asking you to follow, if you're feeling that and you're feeling like now is the time, you're tired of waiting, you're tired of putting it off, you're tired of telling yourself it doesn't matter, and you're ready to listen, you're ready to answer that call for yourself and all the people that will benefit when you do, this podcast episode is for you, my friend. All right, you ready? Let's dive in. Okay, so first I want to tell you a little bit about my experience that I just had in Costa Rica, and again, why I'm so grateful for these humans that created it. So Amenti is a dance and theater company that is founded by a man named Gilles, who is from the Netherlands, and they had an incredible team of 7 people co-facilitating this retreat. And it was all about somatic movement, healing, a really incredible philosophy grounded in the 4 elements and reflection and transformation, all about helping people connect more deeply to themselves, to each other, and to their purpose, and to spark transformation and healing. They are just celebrating 10 years as a company, as an organization, as a movement, and it took something for them to get to this moment, to go through all the challenges and obstacles and roadblocks that I'm sure they faced over the course of 10 years to be able to deliver and offer the magic that I got to experience. And the founder, Gilles, in the Netherlands, he's someone who grew up Jehovah's Witness, where dance was even forbidden, and he had to overcome so many things, psychosis, challenges mentally, emotionally, in order to birth this vision into the world. And something incredibly magical happened this trip. There was 25 other humans who felt called to come to this experience because of some spark of their own that they followed. Something brought each of those people here into this magical container together. And all of the people that I got to meet were people who also had calls on their heart. They were doing incredible things in the world. They were entrepreneurs, visionaries. They had dreams. So many of them were in the point of career transitions or taking huge leaps of faith. And there was also things, fears, doubts, limitations that were getting in their way, that were holding them back from playing full out, that were becoming reasons and excuses why not to move forward. And being in this container with 25 other humans, participants, as well as 7 incredible facilitators who brought this passion, who brought this conviction, who brought this belief, ignited all of these humans. And I got to see so many incredible transformations in other people. Someone who wrote this amazing article sharing deep wisdom that felt really vulnerable to share. People who were having breakthroughs from things that they'd been struggling with for years, me included. I had massive breakthroughs and transformations in things that I have been dealing with, shadow aspects I've been struggling to overcome within myself since childhood, and got to experience huge breakthroughs in that. And I got to see other light bulbs, other fires being ignited in people, dreams of entrepreneurial paths, being willing to believe that something was possible for them that they hadn't believed in before. because they were surrounded by a community of people who were all on that same path, who were all dedicated to creating visions that hadn't existed in the world before. And that's exactly what a mentee and this team of people did. They had the courage to believe in something that didn't exist. Gilles, the founder, needed to have the courage that even though he grew up a Jehovah's Witness and his family and culture and community told him dance was forbidden and evil and all of these things weren't possible, he had to have the courage to believe that it was. And he had to be willing to listen and believe that call in his heart was strong enough and important enough that it could carry him through all of the challenges, all of the obstacles. And when one person does that, it ignites inspiration for so many others. You might have heard the phenomenon of, before anyone had ever run a 4-minute mile, everyone believed that it was impossible. All the scientists, all the researchers said it was physically impossible. It would be harmful for someone to even try. And then all of a sudden, someone broke that barrier. They ran a mile in under 4 minutes. And then within months, other people did it. And now years later, it is becoming more and more common, maybe not common, but possible for people to break that same barrier. So again, that's the power of when one of us answers a call, when one of us dares to believe that something new is possible for me, and I break through those limitations and I share that with the world, it all of a sudden gives other people that view, that perspective that maybe I could too. Maybe whatever limitations, whatever fears I have are possible for me to break through too. And I saw that so much on this trip. I came in as an entrepreneur and a business owner, and there were so many people who had entrepreneurial dreams, and they were asking themselves, yeah, but is that possible for me? I've never done it before. I don't see how I could. And being able to hear stories from me, hearing stories from other entrepreneurs who came to the retreat, they all of a sudden I could see their eyes opening and their belief expanding, just being able to see, oh, someone else was able to do it. Maybe I could too. And again, there's so many other benefits that happen when people answer that call. When all these people came together to form a mentee and they created this incredibly unique and beautiful modality that they're now sharing with the world, it, like I said, opened up breakthroughs within me and is now going to spark inspiration for how I can share my unique gifts in this world. And that's for me the whole concept of follow your spark. It's why I created this podcast, because I believe when people are following that spark of passion, purpose, curiosity, inspiration, you not only get to feel the most vibrant and alive yourself as possible and feel like you're expressing your full potential, your full gifts, you are having this incredible ripple out impact on every single human that you ever touch. Because there is something incredibly unique that only you can bring to this world that is fueled by all of your experiences, all of your challenges that no one else in this world could offer. And that's something else that came up actually on this retreat too. There were different people who wanted to become coaches and wanted to share their gifts. And they had this thought of, oh, but there's so many coaches in the world already. Does the world need more coaches? And it's like, well, first of all, yes, I'm sure. There's probably still way more therapists, for example, than there are coaches in this world. And no matter how many coaches there are, if I'm a coach and you're a coach, what you offer is still going to be different than what I offer. And there's no one else who could bring the magic, the gifts, the skills, the experiences that only you can bring, because there is no other you. So to be able to let go of these limitations, these fears, these doubts that tell us we can't, that tell us it doesn't matter, that tell us, we're not worthy, we're not enough, we're not experienced enough. There are so many things that could get in the way. So let's talk about that. What are some of the things that get in the way of people answering this call? One is that sometimes answering, I don't want to say sometimes, pretty much all the time, answering this call is hard. I joke that, I've been in entrepreneurship and a business owner for 7 years now. And I joke with people that the entrepreneurial path is the most potent personal development journey I have ever been on in my life. And it's something that brought up all of my doubts, fears, limitations, disempowering stories. I was confronted by those things. And it came with the invitation of transform or quit. Face these fears, face these things about myself and heal them, transform them, or give up. So, whatever your call is, it's not supposed to be easy. And I think sometimes when people are met with that resistance, they then think, oh, I can't. I'm not capable. It's not for me. It's not divinely aligned, because if it was, then the path would just open up magically and like everything would flow. No, it's hard. It's hard. It's supposed to be hard. And part of the magic and beauty of answering the call is who you get to become as you overcome these challenges. So for Gilles, for a mentee, the psychosis he experienced, the constriction from his family, from his culture that he experienced, was exactly what transformed into the modality and his work that he shares with the world now. So if he hadn't faced those challenges, a mentee would not exist. So for you, if there's challenges that you're facing, it's okay. 99.9% of the time, those are going to be fuel for you that end up helping you create whatever medicine, whatever gifts, whatever wisdom, insight is yours uniquely to share with the world that wouldn't have been able to come to life without those challenges. So, what often gets in the way of people answering this call is expecting that it should be easy, when truly challenge is part of the journey. Another thing that I find gets in the way of people answering this call is, of course, the mind. The mind has all these doubts, these questions. It wants certainty. It wants this feeling of safety. It wants predictability. And answering the call is inherently unknown. If we are creating something that we've never done before, if maybe the world has never seen before, it requires us to be a little delusional, to be willing to believe something radical, something new is possible that there's no evidence or proof for. And for the brain, that again likes the predictability of patterns, that likes evidence, that can be very challenging. And of course, anytime we do take that step into the unknown, our primitive brain is going to send off alarm bells. Fear is going to come up, doubt, insecurity, anxiety, all these emotions are going to come up that want to turn us back, because we want to live in the realm of what's safe and what's known and what's comfortable and familiar. So I see it happen again and again where people want to make a change. There is a call that they want to answer, and yet they don't. Why? Because it's easier to stay in what's known and familiar, even if you don't like it. The brain prefers that than the uncertainty of the unknown, because that feels too dangerous. So what happens is all of these things get in the way of actually taking any steps forward. And this dream that you have stays a dream and doesn't actually get manifested and created in this physical reality. So today, I have an invitation for you. If you feel like there is a call on your heart that is asking you to answer it, I want to invite you to listen. And I know that can be easier said than done, which is exactly why I feel so inspired in this moment to offer a masterclass all about answering this call. It's all about what gets in the way of you moving forward, because so often, I talked about just a few things here, so often it's much different than you think. And instead of feeling like you're incapable and letting those things stop you, it makes all the difference to actually get clear on what are the problems getting in your way so that you can go to work solving those things and not just think that the roadblocks are insurmountable, because they're not. And what helps that is to connect with desire. So we're also going to spend time tuning into and asking your heart, what is that call that's beckoning you forward? And you don't have to know it with crystal clear clarity right now. This is another thing that I find often holds people back, is that they want the 10-year vision. They want to know exactly where they're going and to have the perfect roadmap of how to get there. And I want to tell you right now that you don't need that. So if that thought is coming up in your mind right now of like, oh, the call's not strong enough, so this isn't for me. No, that's not the case. You don't have to be any clearer than you are in this moment. You just have to feel It could be a little tiny spark, a little tiny yearning, something that's saying either I'm no longer willing to operate how I've been operating, or there's something more that I know is calling me forward and I want to know what that is. I want to explore it. I want to give myself permission to move towards it. If you are feeling that, this masterclass is for you. So like I said, we're going to spend time tuning into this desire, this yearning, this dream that's calling you forward. We're going to explore what are the challenges or obstacles or roadblocks that are actually getting in your way and what will help you overcome them. What are the skills? What are the practices that you can develop that will help you have the courage and confidence to actually answer this call one step at a time? Because it takes consistency. It takes repetition. Like I said, a mentee was just celebrating their 10-year anniversary. And if they hadn't had the resilience to keep going day in and day out, I'm sure that they had tremendous obstacles that they faced. If they just let those things stop them, I never would have been able to experience their magic. So we're going to explore together what are those challenges, and then I'm going to share with you this 5-step spark process that I've used for myself to answer the call and overcome the challenges that get in my way, and that I use to help every single one of my clients do the same. So I'm going to walk you through this process so you can understand what can help you have the courage to navigate into the unknown. What can help you override the fearful thoughts and the anxiety that are telling you stop, abort, turn around, and what can help you have the courage to keep going. And I truly believe this is such a potent time for this conversation. We just transitioned into the year of the fire horse. We're also in the midst of eclipse season right now. This is an incredibly potent, energetic, astrological time for quantum leaps. And when we have all of this fire energy momentum to propel us forward. 2025 was the year of the wood snake. It was a time of shedding. It was a time of releasing. It was a time of exploring the depths and letting go of anything that it was time for us to let go of at the end of this 9-year cycle. And now the fire horse is calling us forward. We have all this energy, all this momentum propelling us. And it's not a time that you have to pressure yourself. It's not a time that you have to force yourself. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. I think that can also be a shadow side of this energy of like, oh my God, it's the fire horse year. I have to be ready right now. This can be a slow build. And this can be a moment where you ignite the fire and you turn it up a little bit more. You fuel those flames. You give yourself time and space to illuminate the vision for your life that's calling you forward, and you begin to build muscle, build strength, build repetition, build skills that can help you move towards this vision with the power of the horse behind you, with the intuitive, heart-centered energy of the horse behind you. So if you want to tap into this energy, join us for this masterclass. One of the things I also think about when it comes to answering the call that's so important is just being willing to put your body there, being willing to take those steps, being willing to not need to know exactly where it's going, and just give yourself permission and dedicate the time and energy to exploring what's calling you forward. So if you're listening to this and there's something in you saying yes, leaning forward, I invite you to join us. You can get all the details and save your spot at ginacasbarro.com/answer the call. This is a free masterclass on Friday, March 13th. Actually, I just realized it was Friday the 13th. What another beautiful, energetic alignment from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, if you're listening to this and you want to join us, go to ginacasbarro.com/answer the call. Even if you can't be there live, you'll get access to the recording. So make sure you save your spot so that you can take yourself through this experience right as we're on this tail end of eclipse season. And you can use this as a declaration to yourself, to spirit, that you are ready to answer the call. Because this doesn't just happen magically. It doesn't just fall into your lap. Fire requires your willpower, your energy, your action. So if you're ready to take this call from a dream, from this formless space of imagination, and you're ready to put in the work, take the steps to bring it into form, into physical reality, now is the time to answer this call because we need you. We need your unique gifts that only you can share with this world because something incredibly magical happens when you do. You not only get to experience yourself in your fullest self-expression, everyone else gets to experience your gifts. And I believe is so much more profound and widespread than any of us could even imagine in this moment. So if you're feeling the call, I hope you join us, and I cannot wait to hear about the dreams that are on your heart. All right, my friend, I'm sending you so much love, and I'll talk to you soon.